Thanks, Jackie. Well, let's throw what light we can on this vessel, the Moskva. Let's have a look. These pictures show her in happier days for the vessel, so to speak. 20,000 tons, a complement of around 500, and absolutely the flagship of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. So wars are all about propaganda and morale. You can choose which of the two versions you've just given us one believes here. But for the Ukrainians, this vessel is almost part of the folklore of this short war. Don't forget, this was the vessel that sailed past those Ukrainians early on in the war, and the Ukrainians told the vessel to, how can I put this, go away. Well, that event was commemorated with new postage stamps, would you believe, issued by Ukraine just a few days ago. So a huge boost morale-wise for Ukraine, and the opposite for Russia, because both sides do agree it has been severely damaged.
And Alex, what have you been seeing today?
We've been in the second city, Kharkiv. It's just 20 miles from the Russian border. The suburbs and the fringes of this vast city very much pounded daily. And we've just been trying to get some assessment of the sort of spirit of people who remain there. It's not an empty city, but its population has obviously been depleted. And trying to get a sense of how people work, how they function, support each other, and why they stay.
Not yet a ghost city, but beginning to go that way. Photographs from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry claim to show a bridge attacked as a Russian army convoy passed over it in the Kharkiv region in recent days. Shelling around the outer suburbs of Ukraine's second city continues. Russia's desire or capability to take this vast city, though, remains in doubt. But the constant shelling holds down Ukrainian forces in defense of it. Those somehow still surviving in the shelled-out suburbs rely on food supplies. So in the city centre, this is what a lifeline looks like. A few weeks back, this was a trendy inner-city restaurant. Then Russia invaded, the owner started making sandwiches for soldiers, and it all went from there. Now they're getting food and medicine parcels from all over the world.
United States, Czech Republic, Belgium, Poland, Hungary, Moldova, Western Ukraine, everywhere.
And in the medicine distribution centre, paintings from children still in the city speak volumes. 10 days ago, they were getting married here in Kharkiv. Now distributing aid around the city and organising it is, for Anton and Anastasia, a honeymoon. Before the war, Anastasia nursed cancer patients, and some years back she shaved her head in solidarity at their hair loss. Her new husband Anton was a dentist, now plunging themselves into keeping people alive here in a new dimension.
It was a restaurant, and now it's a store of medicine and food and delivery place.
And what of Anastasia's cancer patients?
Many of them have left the city for calmer places in Ukraine. Our doctors are coordinating all that, so they're continuing treatment in other medical centres.
And they're off to deliver. Empty streets certainly adding a degree of efficiency to the process. And first stop today, a delivery to people now living for weeks in the city's underground system. It's a mass bomb shelter for thousands, driven here by the bombardment. Toys for children. Medicine left off for the man who lives in this railway carriage. Families, including the cat, get first say, it seems, on the underground carriages. What seemed at first a passing emergency settling down here into a way of life, or at least existence.
Well, not everybody can get a space in the coveted railway carriages, and that's certainly the situation for Sergei. Sergei is living here on the platform, on the stone platform, and he's been here since the first day of the war, nigh on 2 months. Not only that, Sergei only came here because he had to get out of Crimea because Russia invaded there. He looked on the map and thought, well, Kharkiv.
After I left my house, there was a missile strike nearby. All the windows are blown out. I was nearby at the time, but not in the house because of safety reasons.
Can't go, won't go, shan't go. More than a whiff of passive resistance from those still here and staying here.
After the first days of war, we decided Kharkiv is a strong enough city. There was talk of Russians coming in 2014 and they failed, so they can't do it now.
But outside the city's magnificent railway station and still functioning services, there are people leaving from the suburbs being pounded.
Today a shell near our house woke us up. We were thinking about going these last few days, but after that we've decided to leave.
We're from the eastern suburb of Saltivka. It was okay there, but these last 2 weeks, the shellings hit there too. We were thinking it might be okay, but not now.
Kharkivians scoff at the very notion of Russia taking this city, though privately some are worried, of course. But the price being paid to stop the Russian army is grindingly, agonizingly high.
Alex Thompson. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that as many as 10,000 people may have been killed in Mariupol. But the mayor of the besieged city said the number of dead may be twice that. The Ukrainians say what has happened here is a war crime. Tonight we bring you testimony of those who escaped in a report which contains distressing details. We begin with Sergei, who was inside the Mariupol theatre with his family the day it was bombed.
16 числа утром сын говорит: папа, давайте, принес кипятка нам, мы попили чайку, давайте, говорит, переходить, наверное, в подвал. Только умостились, я хотел покушать, а сын побежал кушать готовить, он готовил на весь драмтеатр. Я не знаю, это было где-то начало 10-го, пол-10-го, может быть. Прогремел взрыв, летал самолет, скинули одну бомбу. И еще, видно, взрывная волна была, что вырвала двери. И получилось, что дверь, на меня одна половинка упала, там килограмм 50.
Hauling himself out of the rubble, Sergei and his wife ran upstairs looking for their daughter-in-law and 2 grandchildren, the youngest not yet 3.
Когда смотрит, вылазит наша внучка, 8 лет, Лерочка, и соседская девочка, та постарше. Вот. Вылазят с-под завалов. И бегает соседская дочка, говорит: Валерьевна, это моя жена Валерьевна, Ирина Валерьевна. Говорит, пацанов уже нет. Она говорит, как нет? Их вообще, говорит, нет. Как нет? Ну все, они, говорит, их привалило, говорит. Саша, 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 Саша. Никого нет. Вообще никто ничего не произносил.
Sergei says the floor was so badly damaged, there was no way of clearing any of the rubble by hand. They could still hear the plane overhead. Stunned and caked in dust, they tried to flag down passing cars, desperate to get away from the strike zone. Nobody would stop.
Жена уже хотела бросаться под колеса, а Лерочка говорит: дедушка, ну кто придумал эту войну? Для чего эта война? Говорит, для чего это все, говорит.
In fits and starts, others have also escaped the city. Many have come to Zaporizhia and found themselves here, in a makeshift shelter in the basement of a factory, a far cry from the seaside city they came from.
Очень люблю и любила всегда свой город. Он у нас был цветущий, красивейший город, европейский. Школы, дома, театры, парки, море.
Julia lived in a Soviet building like this one. She doesn't have pictures because she had to delete them at a Russian checkpoint. She and her daughter stayed in the cellar for a month, crammed in with people injured by the shelling.
Когда мы спустились в подвал, Там производили ребята, не имеющие никакого медицинского образования, делали операцию бабушки 84 года.
In late March, she ventured out to find her mother, who was stuck on the other side of town and out of contact.
Мы уже были в таком отчаянии, что либо убьют, либо заберем. Но везде все было, горело, дым, тяжело дышать. Мы взяли с собой немного воды и пытались вот это вот глотками, чтобы как-то перебить эту гарь.
Back underneath their burning city, together now but still offline, rumours spread from neighbour to neighbour. Julia said she heard of people hanging themselves, jumping from buildings.
И я вот думала, если дойдет до крайней точки, забраться на какую-то высотку и оттуда просто спрыгнуть.
Sergei has heard no news about his son. A few days later, a neighbour's daughter did go back, looking for passports and other documents.
Она говорит, я помню, где лежали документы, в каких рюкзаках, в каком месте. Попытаюсь достать. А как глянула, там один пепел.
Sergei didn't get a chance to plant his vegetables at home, but he has been putting down shallow roots here, sowing spring flowers in this new temporary home.
Да что сказать. Хотелось бы, чтобы быстрее это все заканчивалось, хотя это не так скоро будет. Уже надоело оно всем, наверное. Ну, сколько людей пострадало, сколько еще пострадает. Оставили всех без крыши над головой, без работы. Сколько деток погибло. Просто уму непостижимо. Что мне сказать? Хочется спокойствия уже на старости лет. Хочется спокойно уже. Через полгода думал, на пенсию пойду, уже оформлю пенсию, буду отдыхать, заниматься рыбалкой.
That piece was produced by Liz Cookman and filmed by Emre Çaylak, who have spent the last 3 months reporting in and around Mariupol.